I want my twin flame back, and for the reunion, I have been doing a lot of self work. Why is it not working out? Good question. Funnily enough, there are two kinds of ways that you can want your twin flame back. One could be, well, ego based, and the other is spiritual based. And people get mixed up with these meanings, so we are going to break it down for you today. Now, if you have fear that, you know what, if I don't end up with my twin flame, there is no hopes of happiness for me. So it could be fear of missing out, fear of losing the other person, fear of missing out on happiness. It could be any kind of fear. It could be attachment to yourself. Whenever you attach any meaning to yourself, that means I am in a twin flame journey, and you don't let yourself just live the life as you are. That's what the problem I have with tags. That's why you shouldn't tag anything as anything. That's why tags does not matter. What matters is who you are in the current moment. But coming to this, if you have any attachment based wanting the other person back, it is not going to work out, because that's again your ego calling for your twin flame. Your ego, how much ever it calls for your twin flame, it's not going to work out. Now, I have a theory that twin flame is a true love connection, and true love is high vibrational energy. And the movie love is actually not love, it's attachment, and attachment is a low vibrational energy. So, when you are in a high vibrational energy, that is the only time you will be able to attract the other person. How do we become in a how do we come into high vibrational energy? Some people have this stupid mentality of, if I do self work, it's like muscle practice or something, and then I will grow up to be a better person. I will be a different version. And then they look into the mirror, and then they think that some miraculous change will happen in their life. No, it's not going to happen. The truth is, you are going to grow more connected to who you truly are. So you're not going to change as a person and magically you will be the best version of yourself, and somehow, wow, a reunion, fairy tale. No. How it's going to be like is, you learn about yourself, you understand yourself, you spend time with yourself, especially through tough times, the dark night of the soul, for instance. And during those tough times, you learn about yourself, and then there comes a time that you fall in love with yourself, right? It's a thing, and this is not the thing about twin flames at all. Mm, some delusional people think that this is only about twin flame and everything is ultimately connected to the twin flame. That is not the truth. Not the truth. The truth is, everything is connected to you as a person. And there's a difference between um, telling your ego telling you, you know what, this person is a twin flame, this connection is a special connection, and I therefore am special too. So yeah, I would like to be in a relationship like this, because that would mean I am special. Wow. And then, dude, you are special as you are, you are unique as you are. And there's a difference between telling yourself that, you know what, this special connection, ooh la la, whatever. Telling yourself things like that, whether it's happening on a conscious level or in a subconscious level, it is happening. And that's what you are telling yourself, that if I will be happily in reunion with my twin flame, that means I have done a good enough self work and I am now worth it. And I am like, if you're boosting your self esteem based on this connection is a special connection, therefore I am special, or if this reunion happens, then that means that It's because of how much self work I have done, therefore I am worth it. Wow, your self worth and self esteem, where it is attached to? Is it talking to you, like, is it telling you things like this? Or in spirituality there is no concept of ego. It's a mess, alright? It's a mess. There's no concept of ego. So what ends up happening is, let's say you are going through the dark night of the soul, and then at first you're like, you know what, I don't want to be here. You want to run through it, in the sense you want to go out of this dark night of the soul phase, and then reach the end line as soon as possible. So you are running towards the end of the tunnel, or towards the end of this dark night of the soul, and that doesn't happen. Be frank, that doesn't happen. So at some point you have no other choice but to accept this. And once you accept this, that's when your self-esteem and your self-worth talks to you in a very negative way. It tells you you are not worth it, you suck, you are bad, you cannot even handle little things. That's what dark night of the soul have done to a lot of people, or some people maybe, that they find themselves unable to do certain tasks. That's very normal, a normal human being's task, and they are like, why don't I want to do this, first of all, and why can't I do this, and what's wrong with me, right? And funnily enough, this is where you know that you are on the right path. Not going in the extremes, all right? Not going in the extremes. Do not keep on beating yourself up, or do not keep on saying negative things about yourself in the name of perfectionism. That's perfectionism. That's going in a different way. But tagging yourself that in a way that, you know what, this is a twin flame connection, I'm special, and then your ego telling you that, you know what, you suck. That kind of beating down, I am sorry, but it was necessary. Sometimes some kind of beating down is necessary, and universe has a way of humbling us. When we are not coming from the place of love, that's when universe is like, beat us down. You're like, no, not in my house. Universe is more like, not in my house. This thing is not going to work out. No. This behavior not going to work out. No. And funnily enough, this is something that God gave us too. God did give us ego. So why did God give us ego if God didn't wanted us to apply it in our life? God didn't wanted you to fake motivate yourself about shit. Sorry about the cussing, but still, it's the same meaning. Fake motivating yourself, or fake anything, fakely saying that, you know what, you special, blah blah. That's not what God intended when God made ego. Ego was just to help you understand you, who you are, what your perception is, and stuff. That's it. Just to have the difference between this is me and this is the other person. For example, empaths, they don't understand the difference between me, my pain, and the other person's pain. That's why ego was necessary, right? To create a difference. Like, empaths, this is your emotion, and that is the other person's emotions. These two things are separate. And that's what knowledge God wanted us to have. And this is why God was like, you know what, have ego. But not because, not when we try to take it to the extreme, you know what, I am this, I'm special, I'm champion. Motivating yourself is good, but over motivating yourself in the name of anything, even in the name of twin flame, even in the name of uh, God, religion, Christianity, Jesus, or whatever, in the name of anything, if you're overdoing of something, that is not acceptable. That is, God will beat you down. God will humble you. Now, just as a side note, just because I said God is the one that will humble you. That does not mean you have to humble yourself. You are an, well, a-hole for thinking something like this, because all you're saying to yourself is, I want to punish myself, I want to punish myself. And that's the wrong kind of thinking. Why is it a wrong kind of thinking? Because it's not coming from the place of love. It's coming from the place of abuse, and that's puke worthy. Anyway, so let God decide when you need humbling down. Do not do it yourself, because you are not humbling yourself down. You might be punishing yourself or belittling yourself, and that's not wrong. Sorry, that's wrong as per God, but again, that's a learning experience, so fine. Blah 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 blah. Learn it. It's okay. No, I mean, in a way, that's fine. That's fine. Where was I? So, yeah, in spirituality, coming back to the example, you are in a dark night of the soul, and then you have this fake motivation that I can do it, I can get out of this, and then you try to run away, run out of this dark night and run toward the light. You are doing light work. Yeah, you're associated with all sorts of healers, or maybe you are doing light work, energy healing for yourself. Does not matter. You're running. You are running towards the end line. You're like, I can do it. I can do it within 5 minutes. And dude, that doesn't work. And when that doesn't work, you're like, I suck. I am bad. I am bad at this. Now, there is a difference between I am bad at this versus I am bad in general. So, that's the difference that you will experience during this time. You will not think of yourself as I am bad, but you will think of this as I am bad at this. And it might feel like I am bad in general. So, I don't know. It's very complicated to explain, but once you have experienced this, it's very easy to understand too. If you have experienced this thing, you might be like, yeah, I understand it through and through. And for those people who didn't experience this thing at all, is completely getting mixed up. Completely getting messed up. What is the difference between I am bad versus I am bad at this? How do I know? Blah, blah, blah. They are absolutely confused and hyper panicking, hyperventilating. Not going to work out. You know what? Drop it. Whenever it comes to any of the messages that I provide or anyone provide, just listen to it passively, like in a lazy way. Just listen and then ignore. Do not take it in your head, because your head means your ego, and once your ego will listen to it, your ego will tell you that this is how it's done and that's how it's done, and that person has said the right thing and you are not that at all. You are such a bad person. You will never achieve success in your life, etc. So that's how your ego will talk to you if you listen to it with hyper focus, hyper panicky focus. You are it is okay for you to listen to this and be panicked. Once you listen to this completely, work on your triggers. If it is triggers that's panicking you, work on your triggers, but let it go, right? If it is triggers, let that go. But if it was just this message, let this message go too. Let it plop, pop, plop, gone. You know. All right. Coming back to it. Yeah. So you think very badly about yourself, but there is a self-love journey that starts from this kind of mentality. This mentality of, you know what, I am bad, I am bad at this, I suck, I cannot do this. What's going on? I don't know how to move from this dark night of the soul energy. That's where love comes in. That's why you just admit to yourself that you suck, and then you sit with it. That's love. That's love. When you just sit with it. The worst of yours. You sit with the worst of yours. Just sit with it. You accept it through and through, or accept it 100%. Yeah, I suck. You take it, you sit with it. You're not trying to run away from it, you're not trying to change it. That's where love starts. Self love, or any love. If you don't love yourself, you won't love others. That's what it said. Anyway, some of you, or one of you, is not able to comprehend what I just said. Maybe, again, as per the experience, those people who have experienced this is like, yeah, I know what you just said. And then those people who didn't experience this at all is trying to sit with it, but it's not the physical act of sitting with it, right? I know that you understood this, that this is more deeper than that, but I think you still didn't understand that your body wants to move, your body wants to run, and you have this, again, hyper mentality, hyper focus, hyper panic inside of you. Your chest might be like, you know what, I want to run away, I don't want to accept this. So go with it. In that case, you go with your truth, right? Trust me, just I know what I'm talking about, and whatever I have said is all right, and I'm not complicating things, or I'm not, what's the word, opposing myself. I'm saying the same thing. For you, you are not able to understand this. It's fine. It's fine. Sit with it means sit with yourself. I suck. Sit with it. But if your body or your mind or your brain or any part of you is screaming at you that, no, I don't want to believe that, then that's what you sit with. You sit with your reality, not someone else's, not mine. Again, that's your confusion is based on, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Kind of a panic. Don't do anything. Just listen. Don't do anything. Listen. Once you have heard this fully, drop it. Drop it. Let it go. Like how we train dogs. Drop the ball. Drop it. It's gone. Forever. Let it go from your brain forever, because your brain knows. A part of your brain might know what I'm talking about, but sometimes your part of your brain doesn't know what I'm talking about, and that's more dangerous. It could create more danger than that of just education. That's why it's problematic. All right, that's why it's problematic. All right, so you sit with your reality. That means if you think that I suck, you sit with that. But if you think I don't want to believe that, I still have hope, I still want to fight, then fight for it. Fight for your worth, or your whatever you want to fight for. Go for it. Does not matter. It does not matter. What matters is, do you sit with yourself? Do you accept yourself for who you are? I accept myself as a person who doesn't give up. But in today's video, I am giving you a specific example. It's just an example. It's not an instruction. It's just an example. So can you please ask your brain to, you know what, stop thinking about what actions to make. We don't have to do anything. Or stop thinking about what actions to make. Just stop it. That's wrong. Some of you is divine masculine. So weird. I was 100% sure and confirmed. I don't want to talk about. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. So where was I? Um. So yeah, in this example, you go through the okay, one person. I will not say the word you. You are confusing it. So a person, a spiritual person, goes through the dark night of the soul, and at first they motivate themselves, saying that I can do it, and they try to run towards the end of the tunnel or end of the dark night of the soul. They fail, and once they fail, they say to themselves, I failed, and they sit with it. I failed, I'm sad, I feel guilty, I have regrets. I don't know what I was doing. I was absolutely blind. I wasn't helping anybody at home or anybody in my environment. I was absolutely blind into thinking that I can make through this dark night of the soul within no time, and ended up focusing all my attention, energy into just saying, and it sucks. I suck. All right, that's my reality. I suck, and then this person sits with it. I'm unhappy. Once that happens, this person from this point on do not tell themselves what they can or can't do, especially what they can do. You know what, I can do this. If I do this in this way, it will be worth it. If I do this in these steps, I will always achieve a reunion, or this in this kind of way, I will attract my soulmate, blah blah blah. Or if I do this and this and that in this particular format, within 3 years I will have a, you know, that part of them is gone. They gave up, and once they gave up their narration, if you will, the narrator who was telling them, oh, or their kind of coach, right, or their brain's coach or ego's coach, to tell them that this is how you'll achieve success or whatever. When they give up everything, when they just accept that they have failed, I have failed, I'm unhappy, then they observe themselves, because it's not true that a human being is living and not doing anything. Sometimes we are stuck, but even when we are stuck, we are not doing nothing. We are still eating, we are still drinking, we are still communicating. There's a way of communication. We are still healing, and we are not healing in a conscious way. We are healing ourselves in a subconscious way. What does that mean? Subconsciously or instinctually, we know that if we sleep a lot, for instance, that's what a lot of people do, sleep a lot, that's it. If we sleep a lot, we'll heal. And again, there is no one on earth who is just staying idle on a like Edward Cullen, I think. Just staying idle, that doesn't work. That's not the reality. Even if you're staying idle, you still have your thoughts. You're moving. You're moving somewhere. You're doing something. And then you start to observe what you're doing, and then you just accept it. You know, I suck anyway. So I accept this fact that today I am just gonna eat some food, or today I'm just eating this food, and that's it. I'm not doing anything else. And you keep on observing yourself without having that stupid ego's coach telling you, do this, do that. That's not here anymore. So you see yourself as a failure. You see yourself as an unhappy person. And you see yourself as living the most boredomsome life. And once the observation continues, there comes a time that you appreciate certain things about yourself. And there comes a time that you understand certain things about yourself. And in terms of twin flames, the things that people accept and understand about themselves is how much they are in love with their twin flame. They don't tell themselves that this is the reunion and that's what I should do, and this, no, it's not there anymore. They just sit with themselves, they just observe themselves, they just take themselves as a failure, and then there comes a time that they see themselves as their best friend. I don't know, as their best friend and their wingman or a wing person. So it's more like looking at yourself, but as a movie. And then when you look at yourself and then you see or you hear your thoughts with no tags on it. Oh, this is a twin flame. That's a tag. Zero tags. Oh, this is a special connection. That's a tag. Zero tags. Zero. When you see yourself with zero tags at all, that's when you just listen to your thoughts and you're like, man, you love this person so much, isn't it? And then there comes this beautiful part in your life where your adult self or your present self looks at your younger self or your inner child and then cups your inner child's cheek, and then with tears in your eyes, you tell your inner child, you know what, I will do everything in this world to make you happy. And if you truly love this person, I want this person in your life. This is what love means. Self-love. This is where love is coming from. And this is where you you settle with yourself. You settle with the understanding of who you are, why you act the way you do, why you think the way you think. And then you just accept it, not just accept it, love it. Loving is giving. Loving is not demanding, if that makes sense at all. I mean, there's a different kinds of love that has been portrayed online. And one type of love is, you know what, I am the best and I deserve the best. Right? And there's other kind of love that's like that's you speaking to your inner child. You are the best and you deserve the best. Huge difference. For the person who have always had negative self-talk, the words "I'm the best" and "I deserve the best" as an affirmation is something that is like jari booty for them, I think. What's the word? Herbal medication, Ayurvedic good balm medication, That's what it is for these people. So in that case, for these people, this could be the exact sense of self-love that I was describing with the inner child. You fall in love with yourself after a certain time, because Dark Night of the Soul forces you to be alone. There's no one to love, no one around. If during the dark night of the soul someone would have helped you, you might have loved them. But during the dark night of the soul, you helped you by miracle. You love God, you love universe, you love magic. And you don't forget yourself. Right? I don't know if this makes sense at all, but that's where I was getting at for today's video. If you do self work for attracting reunion with your twin flame, and it is coming from the place of ego, that means on the basis of fear of missing out, fear of losing the person or whatever, or fear of not being happy at all, or fear of not being in a relationship at all for the rest of your life. It could be anything. Either it is coming from the fear, or it is coming from the ego based attachment to things. I am so and so. That is ego attaching itself to the meaning of things. And I am in a twin flame journey. So that is where it clashes. That is the biggest problem. Biggest problem. For these people who can't let go of their ego while they are reading posts on Instagram or Facebook, or even watching videos about twin flames, I recommend them not to do that. It's kind of a loss for me, but who cares? I mean, I hope that the right people come to my channel every time. I think on my page every time. But do, if I truly think about you and loving you as a person, I do think, don't do it. Don't listen to it, because if you can't if you can't stop attaching your ego to it, I am in a twin flame journey. That is you attaching your ego to this tag. So you have tagged yourself as something. And that tag is again ego based manifestation or attracting the other person. Whatever self work you do with this fucking foundation is not going to work out. I'm sorry for cussing once again. Whatever whatever work, self work, or any spiritual works are so nice and good. But I doubt that it's going to work out with this ego based foundation. And ego again tells us to boost ourselves, Ego wants boosting. Ego is not happy with any limit of the boosting, to be very frank. So if you have zero boosts of ego, pumping it to 5 will be good. But if you have 5, but you want to keep on pumping and then, keep on boosting yourself for 20 and 50 and whatever, more and more every single day, that's when you say to yourself things like, you know what, I'm in a twin flame journey and I deserve the best, so I'm going to attract this thing. Not going to work out. This is becoming the foundation of your self work. Not going to work out. I don't think so. It's going to crumble down. Kind of like in tarot format, there is a card that is representing crumbling down, or the building crumbling down. So it is. I think it's going to crumble down, and not for your bad, but for your good, because the foundation wasn't good. So it's better that it crumbles down. Better to have a good home for yourself, if that makes sense. Now, spiritual love based love, I mean self love, you loving yourself or you loving your inner child. When you have your inner child love for yourself, and then you look at yourself in the mirror, and then you're like, you know what, I want you to be happy, right? I want nothing in the world but for you to be happy, safe, whatever you want. Protector, protected, and I will do everything in my power to give you everything. Or sometimes it happens like this, where you just look at your inner child and you have tremendous amount of love for that self of yours. Sometimes it just happens that you decide on following life, or on following instincts, on following just life, like, let's say, spirituality, right? So what that means is you'll just you'll just accept life as it is, not accept yourself. Either you accept yourself as it is, or you accept life as it is. And when you do accept life as it is, again, there's no tagging about this, like, this is a twin flame journey. There's no tag that this is a twin flame journey, but there is also not a tag that, you know what, I will always be a failure, so why to even try? So there's no tag at all, zero tags, zero ego, zero tags, no tags at all. All right. And when you come from this place of life, that's when people kind of have success in their life. So success for people is sometimes reunion, right? And I want to say it. I think success do mean reunion for a lot of twin flame people, right? People who are in this journey. However, I also think that success means they finding inner peace or inner harmony or inner happiness or inner self love, inner love. That's it. For themselves or for inner love, in general, love for life, maybe. That could be success too. Why is it true that you are likely. Excuse, excuse me. I didn't say excuse me before. Why did I wanted to say it now? Anyway, why is it true that you are likely to be manifesting your twin flame into your life or manifesting the reunion in your life than that of having inner peace without them? Is because again, there is a tag on it, the tag of, you know what, I'm a failure anyway, so why do I even try? uh, I am not a good person. I don't have enough self-worth. I don't have enough self-esteem. I am nothing in comparison to my twin flame. I am nothing in comparison to any good person on earth. So I think I don't want to manifest my twin flame. And that could be something that happens to a lot of people on twin flame journey, and they work on it. Self work. They work on it, and yeah, that's a tag too. So there are some people who end up having tags of, this is a twin flame, this is a special connection. But there are some people who end up having the tag of, you know what, I it's not a twin flame, or it's a twin flame. I don't want to be near that person. That person is way out of my league. That is, again, you tagging that you are not good enough. That's what you have tagged yourself as. So most people work on those tags of low self-esteem, low self-worth. And also there is a balance. It's not that you work on your low self-esteem to super high self-esteem. You'd have no connection to self-esteem at all. I mean, whether you don't usually judge yourself. That's what no self-esteem means. You don't think of yourself as good, you don't think of yourself as bad, you don't think of life as good, you don't think of life as bad. Present is a gift. This is it. That kind of a mentality. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Let me know in the comments down below whether you understood the difference between manifestation or twin flame reunion in a ego format versus in a love format. Yeah, if you did understand it, write down your experiences, write down your awakenings, because your awakenings could help other people also. What I mean by it, like, when you were listening to this, some part of your brain might have triggered, like, oh, I understand it now, this is my story and this is how it affects me, and this is my epiphany, or oh, I have an awakening right now, right? Whatever awakening you have, comment it down below, because I think people will relate to it. Thank you so much for listening to this audio message. Namaste, goodbye.